You ever seen somebody's sense of entitlement write a check so big, their whole reputation bounced so hard, it flew back out the bank, hit him in the face, and shredded itself into 1,000 little pieces of public shame? Yeah, I have. And trust me, I had front row seats for the show. The star? A woman who thought HOA stood for her own authority. The target? My 10-year-old son, Leo. But Cynthia Rutherford's real mistake wasn't just picking on a little boy at the bus stop. It was doing it in front of the one dad she should have never crossed. Because this pajama-clad guy right here, the one in the faded Howard University sweatshirt, that's me. And my signature is on every single paycheck that goes out to the city's police force. She picked the wrong kid on the wrong day, in the wrong universe. Let me set the scene. Tuesday morning, autumn just starting to show its face, air sharp enough to make you feel alive, sun still warm enough to be a blessing. For once, I had a real day off. No press conferences, no meetings, just me, a bottomless mug of coffee, and the quiet hum of home. Sarah, my wife, the real hero around here, had already left for the hospital. Her perfume hung in the hallway, sweet and soft, and I was on dad duty, which, honestly, is my favorite shift of all. Mission was simple: get Leo dressed, fed, into the corner of Chestnut Drive and Willow Lane by 7:45 sharp. We'd moved into the meadows at Chestnut Creek about a year ago, the kind of neighborhood where lawns are manicured to within an inch of their lives and every house looks tastefully unique, in that cookie-cutter, Stepford way. We were one of maybe 3 black families. We'd gotten the tight-lipped smiles, the once-over at the cookouts, the welcome to the neighborhood. That felt more like an inspection than a greeting. But the schools were top-notch, the yard was big, and for that, I could take a few stares from folks clutching their pearls whenever my government-plated car rolled through. And look, I knew the trade. It was worth it for Leo's sake. He's got the soul of an artist, always sketching something, always finding beauty in things most folks walk right past. This kid's backpack weighs more from all the sketchbooks and pencils than any of his schoolwork. He's gentle, shy, all heart, the kind of good you pray the world won't grind out of him. That morning, he sat at the kitchen island, hunched over a drawing of a squirrel he'd seen on the fence, its tail a giant question mark. It was perfect, just him, lost in his art. Cereal barely making it to his mouth. All right, Picasso, wrap it up, I said, ruffling his hair. He carefully covered the drawing, slid it in his backpack, and gave me a quick hug. Love you, Dad. Love you more, buddy. Be good. I watched from the living room window as he made his way down to the bus stop. Always a little off to the side, sketchbook in hand. That was Leo, always watching, always creating. That's when I saw her. Cynthia Rutherford, a.k.a. the HOA lady. Storm cloud in a pink tracksuit, clipboard in hand. Even from across the street, you could feel the disapproval rolling off her in waves. I watched her march, not toward the group of kids, but straight at my son. Something twisted in my gut. I set down my coffee, leaned in. I couldn't hear the words, but I didn't need to. Her body language said it all. She pointed at his sketchbook, the tree, the grass, like she was building a case in a one-woman trial. Leo looked up, confused, holding up his drawing as if to say, "See? Just a tree." She didn't care about art. She snatched the sketchbook out of his hands. That's when the simmer in my blood turned to a boil. You do not touch my kid, and you sure as hell do not take his property. The police chief in me was gone. There was only the dad left. I stormed outside in my socks, pajama pants flapping, not caring one bit how I looked. By the time I reached them, her voice was ringing out, sharp as a fire alarm. You are defacing the neighborhood. We have rules here. Leo was trembling, tears brimming. I was just drawing the tree. It's for art class. Don't you lie to me, she barked. I've seen your kind before. You start with this, and next thing you know, you're tagging stop signs, breaking into cars. I won't let you turn this place into a ghetto. That word, ghetto, hung in the air like poison. Other kids watched, frozen. A mom by her minivan just stood there, mouth open, not saying a word. I walked up, put a hand on Leo's shoulder. Looked Cynthia dead in the eye. There a problem here? I asked, calm but cold. She looked me up and down like I was some stray dog. Yes, there's a problem. I assume this delinquent is yours? This is my son. He's not a delinquent. I'd appreciate it if you returned his property. She laughed, a short, ugly sound. This is evidence. I'm well within my rights to confiscate it. And you're in violation of the dress code. My pajamas were a crime, but screaming at a 10-year-old wasn't? That's Karen logic for you. Ma'am, give me the sketchbook now. My voice wasn't asking. She stiffened, but her arrogance won out. I'll do no such thing. In fact, I'm calling the police. And then, oh, the irony. She dialed 911 right there, describing us as a suspicious individual and accomplice, vandalizing property. I could have ended it. I could have told her who I was. But I wanted to see how deep her rabbit hole went. Cops rolled up 5 minutes later. Officer Ramirez, solid guy, and rookie Kelly, who I'd sworn in myself. Cynthia ran to them like she was being liberated. This man and his son caused a disturbance. Ramirez asked for her side, then mine. I told him simply, my son was sketching a tree. She accused him of vandalism, took his sketchbook. Ramirez looked at me, then at Cynthia. He asked to see the evidence. Cynthia handed it over, expecting some kind of smoking gun. Ramirez flipped through sketches of our dog, a vase, a portrait of me looking way younger than I am, and the start of a beautiful tree. Ma'am, these are just drawings, Ramirez said. You have a talented artist here. But Cynthia wasn't having it. You don't understand. It's the principle. People like this, you have to send a message. That people like this made Kelly finally look at me. And then it hit him. His eyes went wide. Ramirez, look at him. Ramirez finally recognized me. My little nod made it click. Chief. He breathed. Chief Thorne. Cynthia's face went through the 5 stages of grief in about 3 seconds. Confusion, realization, horror, embarrassment, and then the color drained right out of her. Her clipboard slipped from her hand, clattered on the pavement. The power dynamic flipped so hard, I'm surprised the ground didn't crack. Ramirez turned cold and official. Ma'am, you've made false accusations against the chief of police's son. Silence. The kind where you can hear your own heartbeat. I told Ramirez and Kelly. Officers, I want a full incident report. Her claims of vandalism, false threats, harassment, and confiscation of private property. They jumped to it. The sketchbook is evidence. Please log it and return it to me later. Cynthia deflated, the pastel tracksuit. Suddenly too big for her. Leo, wiping his tears, looked up at me. She said my drawings were graffiti. No, son. Your art is beautiful. Never let anyone tell you otherwise. I sent him on the bus. With Pat the driver, who gave me a knowing nod. As the neighborhood gossiped, Cynthia tried to salvage her pride, stammering about misunderstandings and protecting property values. Ramirez shut her down. You accused a child. You lied to law enforcement. She apologized, but only because she got caught, not because she was sorry. Later, George Maxwell, the real HOA president, called. Voice shaky, full of regret. Chief Thorne, on behalf of the HOA, we're so sorry. Cynthia's been suspended, probably for good. We're issuing a community-wide reminder. Don't confront kids, go to their parents. We're even fining her for harassment. The poetic justice was sweet. Cynthia lost her power, her position, the very things she valued most. That night, the neighborhood felt lighter. Neighbors actually waved. Mrs. Gable, the silent mom, brought over a homemade pie. She apologized for not speaking up. It's hard to stand up, I told her. Takes courage to apologize, too. It was a crack in the facade. Maybe, just maybe, we'd start feeling like a real community. But the biggest moment was with Leo, tucking him in, watching him draw a superhero with my face and a police badge for a shield. You're my hero, Leo, because you kept drawing, even after someone tried to make you feel small. He hugged me tight, and as I watched him drift off to sleep, I realized this is why I do what I do. Next morning, the bus stop felt different. Parents actually talked. Leo sat by the tree, sketching, shoulders high, not a care in the world. The reign of Queen Karen was over. Soon, the HOA sent out a newsletter. No committee member shall confront a minor. Concerns go to parents only. Folks were calling it the Leo Clause. Cynthia put her house up for sale. She couldn't handle living as a regular resident, powerless. Every time she saw me, uniform or pajamas, she saw the man who'd toppled her little kingdom. I didn't gloat, just felt a deep, quiet satisfaction. Justice isn't always a courtroom. Sometimes it's a neighborhood deciding. We're not putting up with bullies anymore. But you want to know something? The story never really Ends. Not when someone like Cynthia's involved. She filed a formal complaint against me with internal affairs, twisting the truth, painting herself as the victim. She claimed I used my position to intimidate her, that my officers only took my side because I was chief. The city was in an uproar. Headlines screamed, "Police chief abuses power." The community that once rallied behind us suddenly got cold again. Leo was asked on the bus if his dad was a bad cop. That broke me. Cynthia's poison had seeped into my home, my work, even my son's peace of mind. The hearing before the Civilian Oversight Board was brutal. Cynthia played her part. Tears, trembling hands. Her lawyer painting me as the monster. Facts versus fiction. It all came down to who they believed more. I told the truth. But facts can be quiet, and lies told with enough emotion can sound convincing. Then, at the last second, a twist. Mrs. Gable and her teenage son, Jason, burst in. Jason had filmed the whole bus stop incident on his phone. The video played, Cynthia towering over Leo, using the word ghetto, snatching his sketchbook, me calm and collected, the officers arriving. Kelly's moment of recognition. 2 minutes and 37 seconds later, the truth suffocated every lie. The board chair turned to Cynthia, stone-faced. This was a malicious, racially motivated abuse of the system. We're recommending charges of perjury and filing a false report. Case dismissed. Public apology issued. Officers Ramirez and Kelly commended. The smear blog retracted. Everything. Cynthia, gone. Moved out like a thief in the night. That night, I showed Leo the news. Today we learned truth has a voice too. Sometimes it's louder than any lie. He smiled, picked up his pencil, and kept drawing. So yeah, justice can be slow. And sometimes the hero is a quiet kid with a sketchbook, or a teenager with a phone, or a neighborhood that finally stands up and says, "Not here, not anymore." And if stories like this get your blood boiling, then soothe it with a little bit of justice. You're in the right place. Drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from, share a story where you saw truth win out against a bully. Because every story is another light in the dark. And as for Cynthia, well, let's just say, when you knock a Karen off her throne, sometimes she tries to claw her way back. But as long as we keep shining a light, the shadows don't stand a chance.